Hey, what's going on, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, Boston Celtics are up 25 points, 40-65 at the half. Jaylen Brown has missed one single shot, just one. That's it. And Giannis has made, I think, two field goals. He was one of 11 when I checked, and I think I saw him make another field goal or something. So he's up there in efficiency today. You're seeing them do the things that they need to do that they didn't do in their last series. You're seeing things that the Chicago Bulls should have done to Giannis. Put him in a position where he's not as comfortable. Put bodies on him. And most importantly, get out to his shooters. All that kicking stuff he was been able to do since people have been overcrowding him, kicking out the open shooters, that is over. Boston Celtics put an end to that. Meanwhile, on the offensive end, they've kept pace. They've taken it straight to the Bucks. They are making it a point to attack them, and Jaylen Brown is just hot. He's on fire. So that's what you're looking at. 40 points at the half from the Bucks. You're not getting the same type of performances from the Connaughtons and those guys through one half of play, but there's still another half to go. But it's a tall task for the Bucks. They are definitely seeing the adjustments Udoka made, and I told you that's what it's about. I mean, we can overreact to one game, but you have to assume Udoka is going to make an adjustment. You have to assume that what you saw in this last game, he learned, and then he's going to adjust his team in such a way that's going to make it so that there's a different look for the Celtics to see, or rather for the Bucks to see, and that's what he's done here. So, yeah, I'm thinking about my prediction, because all of the things that I was talking about was pointing toward the Bucks losing the game, and yet I picked them to win just on a whim. And I tend to do that sometimes, but pay it no mind. At the end of the day, it's the evidence that I ignored, that I asked that you don't. At the end of the day, there was adjustments that needed to be made. The Bucks are a bit undermanned, to say the least, with Middleton out, and they're counting on guys who are not used to taking on big loads to do things that they don't normally do. Grayson Allen is doing this, playing great. But it's a surprise because he's not been asked to do this all season. So to ask him to do it every night, he's been able to keep it going. But he can't take a night off. That's what it comes down to. The Bucks, others can't take one night off, and they're not the kind of guys that are known for not taking nights off, because they don't get that type of opportunity. In some cases, not all, there's a reason for that. Why guys are at the level of that they're at, in terms of their pay and what is expected of them. I think the Bucks have lucked out because they've gotten guys that have overachieved and played well in this situation. Obviously, Giannis garners a lot of attention, and so does Jrue Holiday, taking pressure off of him. So guys are able to kind of move freely within this offense a bit more without as much pressure on them to kind of handle certain things that those guys do for them on both sides. So, the others are playing great. I think that's the science behind what having a super team or three max contracts is supposed to be about. Your others aren't supposed to be asked to do as much, because your big three, your superstars, are supposed to be able to make life really easy so that they overplay, overachieve, and look great. But you just have to build it properly. And the Bucks have a good situation, and that's why you're seeing them continue to have success without Middleton. So you got to give the Bucks credit, but today it's all about the Celtics, and they're not doing well without Middleton. The Celtics are doing what they need to do to carve them up on the defensive end first. Marcus Smart did sit this game out, as I said he probably would. It's just Smart. He wasn't healthy. It's the right way to go. And then you're seeing more Grant Williams, which I expected to see. He's been great on the defensive end. More Al Horford. You're seeing that Robert Williams is active. So those are the guys I was thinking I would see a lot of in response to the Boston Celtics getting beat like that. Those are the guys you say, okay, you're the defensive guys. Get down there and force the issue. A lot has been said about the Bucks closing the paint in the game one and making sure that they clogged it in such a way to force the Boston Celtics to take over 53-point shots. And I was listening to people's ideas of what should be done. J.J. Redick thinks that they should continue to shoot, play to that, because that's what the defense is giving you. And Tim Legler was just basically saying he thinks they should try to move some players around. I think it was Keyshawn Johnson that said he felt they should try to take it to him and try to get those bigs in foul trouble, to try to weaken that paint presence. And I kind of lean in that direction. I think the only way to knock off that strength is to get it in foul trouble. You can shoot threes all night, but if you're not an excellent 3-point shooting team, which the Boston Celtics are not, you're probably just going to shoot yourself out of the game. And JJ's idea that you're playing into their strengths by shooting, or rather not playing into their strengths. I think it's the opposite. I think you're doing what it is that they're forcing you to do, and they're forcing you into that position for a reason. I think what you got to do is try to defy that. They have clogged the paint by necessity because they can't run things normally without Middleton. So what they've done is they've moved all of their best players, who happen to be their biggest players or big players, to the front, and that style makes sense for them. So you understand they're not doing it just because. They're doing it because they're missing Middleton. So it's like you can't let that be something that you lose sight of when you consider them clogging the paint. That's not something they really want to do. So if you can get in there and get those players who are clogging the paint out of there, what you've done is remove their best players from the game. And I think it's worth the shot. Yeah, they're going to give you punishment when you drive into the paint. Yeah, a lot of those situations are going to be verticality, so you may not get the call. But if they're able to sit there for 48 minutes in the paint like they had been in game one, you shooting 53s, you're not going to, the percentages say that you're not going to shoot well enough to make that work. So, yeah, that's just a point of view I have in this situation. I think they should still try to get those guys up out of there by driving at them. And you're seeing Jalen do that. They're getting in the paint a little more. They're trying to kind of weaken that interior presence and continue to hit threes themselves, try to give it a balance. So we're going to see how they attack them. Obviously, with the lead, you're going to see them maybe remove some players, try to play it smart since they have some injury issues. It would be wise for them trying to lean on their bench with a lead like this. But you don't want to play with a series lead. If you got a chance to go up 2-0, you find balance there too. You don't want to be Joel Embiid and be in the game when you're up 30 to get injured. But at the same time, you also don't want to give the lead back. So we'll see how Ime Udoka plays this. It's kind of tricky when you're up this much in a game too at home. So it is what it is, man. Giannis is still going to attack. I can't imagine he's going to be just as efficient as he was in that first half. Giannis is going to hit his shots. He's going to adjust to their defense. So this is going to be back and forth. Like I said, I expect 7 games, man. 7 games of Celtics way. That's what I've said in the beginning. Nothing's really changed there at all. So here we are, man. I think this series is showing you what it's going to be. So, yeah, BDR 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.